We need to teach humanity good morals and bad morals. We need to let our children understand that nowadays nothing is morally black or white anymore. Nothing's purely evil and nothing's purely good. There are many different things in this world that prove this. The old school philosophical beliefs of Taoism said there was light and dark. And nowadays there is so much philosophy coming from philosophy and theosophical stuff that basically prove and is reliterating the idea of black and white into shades of gray. Now, and it's really reflecting on artistic culture. The old school, like for example, the first example is Star Wars. The first trilogy back in the 1980s was about black or white. Black and white. That's it. But then if you look at the new trilogy, this episode 7 was about the Force reawakening, but The Last Jedi has one big theme. That there is no black and white in any situation. It's a shade of gray. And what proves this is Kylo Ren's perspective and then Luke's perspective. There's good and bad in the situation. There's good explanation as to why Kylo betrayed people. Like at first it says in episode 7 that Kylo Ren betrayed people. Betrayed Luke and betrayed the new Jedi Order. But Kylo Ren's perspective is that Luke was a little zany. And tried to kill his own nephew because he saw evil in him. And Luke later gains the perspective from what he learned with Kylo Ren and figured out that it was the Jedi's vanity and belief in the white that made them completely hypocritical. And that is why the Jedi should end. The second big one is a video game series called Mass Effect. Based on... created by a gaming company named BioWare. I believe I reviewed their Dragon Age series, but I didn't review the Mass Effect series. But Mass Effect was basically shades of gray. The entire morality of doing right and wrong was not there. Sure, you could do the right thing or the wrong thing, but more often than not, doing the right thing has more consequences in that game, in the franchise. And doing the wrong thing is more often than not, through dialogue and explanation, a justifiable thing. Justifiably right. Kind of like a neutral, evil good. If you believe in the good, neutral, chaotic neutral, good neutral, chaotic good, and chaotic evil, and neutral evil, the whole Mass Effect series was based off of good evil, or neutral evil, or good and evil. Basically, it kind of merges and destroys the dividing line of the good and the evil parts. At one point, you can destroy the cure for the genophage in this Mass Effect 2, but there was really good moral justification in doing so. You were damning an entire alien species, but justifying it. It's morally right to save the cure for this entire alien species, but it's more justifiable to destroy the cure for the plague that's plaguing this alien species, because the alien species is known to be tyrannical and evil, and one that probably wants to take over the entire galaxy. And there's many philosophical points in real life, in real books of philosophy and theosophy, is that the point of the human soul has nothing to do with being good or being evil. It's just this new wave of thought that is being formed. And it's really more justifiable than saying, oh, this guy looks evil, or this guy is acting evil. Like before, in movies, video games, in any form of artistic sense, that relates to the old school belief in real life. The old school belief is that if they're doing something evil, they're doing something evil. Nowadays, in real life, and mostly in artistic medium, the bad guy, the antagonist, is usually the most relatable. They have reason. They have justified reason. We have to accept that there is reasons for someone acting incredibly good, and there is definitely reason for what some would say evil and tyrannical things that people do. Some people have reasons. It's no longer I want to destroy things just to be evil. Muhahaha. Nowadays, with philosophy of the human mind changing so often, it reflects in the artistic medium, in video games, books, movies. It's changing. You can see the reflection in the artistic medium of humanity realizing that life is more than good and evil. Everything is a shade of gray. And the very biggest point in all this, the very biggest one, is there's actually books that fully justify, like in the Star Trek series, there are a couple of Star Trek books that justify those, the Borg or the robots, but also there's a video game named Grand Theft Auto 4. Grand Theft Auto 5 did this too, where there was shades of gray. It's all about shades of gray, but Grand Theft Auto 4 did it way more. And it's a constant theme throughout Grand Theft Auto 4, is that one of the characters says it's like black or white, it's shades of gray. And that is what humanity is coming to, is that it's all a shade of gray. It's more not boring, but it's more crazy than you think it is. And the entire franchise, because before, even Grand Theft Auto, it got into the system of, oh, you're a bad guy, and you're chasing a bad guy. It's like, well, now in Grand Theft Auto 5, Grand Theft Auto 4, you were a Russian military veteran with PTSD, and you were chasing down someone who caused that PTSD in wartime. In Grand Theft Auto 5, you are working for the government, and the whole game goes into detail about how evil, or how neutral, what kind of shade of gray the government really is. But yeah, it's just everywhere in New Age artistic medium, not only in the New Age belief system, but all that is reflecting onto the artistic medium of humanity. What humanity has to say formulates and forms in the art that they create.